I need to tell you something that took me a long time to admit. For years, and I mean well over a decade, I stood at the nurse's station and handed melatonin to patients like it was nothing. Couldn't sleep? Here's some melatonin. See you next shift. I said it confidently, because that's what I was taught. That's what we all said. It wasn't until I started my functional medicine certification that I realized I had been giving incomplete advice, and for some of my patients, I had been making their sleep problem worse. Not because melatonin is dangerous, but because melatonin was never the actual problem. I'm Anastasia. I'm a registered nurse with 20 years of clinical experience, and today I'm going to tell you what I know now that I didn't know then. Let's start with what melatonin actually is, because most people have it completely backwards. Melatonin is not a sleeping pill. It is not a sedative. It does not knock you out. What it does is this. It signals your body that darkness has arrived and that it's time to begin preparing for sleep. That's it. It's a timing signal, a biological alarm clock set by your eyes detecting darkness. Your pineal gland, a tiny gland in your brain, produces melatonin naturally as light fades in the evening. That natural rise tells your body temperature to drop, your heart rate to slow, and your nervous system to begin the shift toward rest. So when you take a melatonin supplement, you are not adding fuel to a fire. You are ringing a bell that your body may or may not be able to hear. And for most of the exhausted women I work with, the bell is ringing. The system just can't respond to it. Here's why. I want you to picture a seesaw. On one side, cortisol, your stress hormone. On the other side, melatonin, your sleep signal. When cortisol goes down, melatonin goes up. That is how your body is designed. In a healthy rhythm, cortisol peaks in the morning and drops through the day. But here's what's actually happening. Their cortisol is not dropping at night. It's staying elevated. Sometimes it's actually rising. The supplement cannot override the stress signal. You are adding melatonin to a system where the cortisol door is locked shut. This is why you feel wired at 10 p.m. even though you're exhausted. The melatonin isn't the problem. The cortisol that won't stand down is the problem. Now let me tell you the part that really changed how I think about this. Most people, when melatonin doesn't work, take more. The standard dose is 0.3 milligrams. Most supplements start at 3 milligrams, that's 10 times the research dose. 10 milligrams, that's 30 times the requirement. What happens when you flood a receptor? Over time, the body downregulates its own production. It stops making as much because it's been getting so much from outside. You become dependent on a supplement for a process your body was designed to do automatically. And the dependency makes it harder to sleep without it. I want to share what the research actually shows. A meta-analysis found that melatonin reduces time to fall asleep by 7 minutes. 7 minutes. That is the clinical evidence behind a supplement that millions of people take every single night, millions of dollars spent. If you are lying awake with a racing mind, hot, tense, cortisol flooded, melatonin is addressing the wrong mechanism entirely. So what do we actually do instead? I'm going to give you the 3-part protocol I now use with my clients and that I use myself. Number 1, light discipline. Most people think blue light matters at bedtime. It doesn't. It matters 3 hours before bedtime. Your eyes contain cells that communicate directly to your pineal gland. Blue light suppresses melatonin production for up to 3 hours after exposure. Number 2, the cortisol wind-down stack. Magnesium glycinate, 300 milligrams. Ashwagandha evening dose. These reduce cortisol directly. Number 3, the 4-7-8 breathwork protocol. 4 minutes of structured breathing directly activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It signals safety. The sequence matters. Light first, then the stack, then the breath. In that order, this shifts your sleep onset within 3 to 5 days. I want to come back to light for a moment. We live in an environment that is biologically incompatible with the sleep system our bodies were built with. For most of human history, darkness fell, fires were dim and warm, the world went quiet, and melatonin rose naturally. We have replaced that with screens that emit the same light spectrum as midday sun, an hour before we expect to fall asleep. The environment is the problem. If you are a woman over 40 who is exhausted and inflamed, you are not deficient in melatonin. You are living in a body under chronic stress. If you want to start tonight, here is your sequence. Dim your lights, blue light glasses on, take your magnesium, do the 4-7-8 breathing. If you want to go deeper, I've built the connection between cortisol, gut health, and sleep into the healing blueprint. Link is in the description. And if this changed how you think about sleep, please share it with someone still buying melatonin. I'm Anastasia. See you in the next one.